Hey, I know it's been a long time. It's me, as well, Sean the Wonder, here again with a video. And I haven't done a video about conventions in a long time, but here I am. And this time you see me, I've been going to a lot of conventions, a lot more. And I don't see actually any videos on YouTube actually ranking like nerd conventions in general. I do see like artists doing tier lists based off of artist alleys and experience of selling their products, but not anything from the fans, which is really odd to me considering more people are going to cons now than ever. So I would think you'll see this kind of content. And since I didn't, I decided to make this video myself. This is what brought me back in all this time. Yeah, so these are the list of conventions I've been to over the years, and I want to rank them. So basically, let's just get to it. So the first convention I ever went to is Heroes Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a comic book based convention. I don't remember that much from it. I went to it in 2014 and 2015. I remember a little bit of people cosplaying. It was a bigger convention. I remember it's an actual convention center. They had wristbands instead of badges like most cons. But I just overall remember it being pretty boring. I just went with my college friends the first time, and I went back the second time just to hang out with them, but I was kind of bored both times going to the convention. I wish I could say more about this con, but I barely remember it, and my experience with it was bad, so this is a D tier. My next convention I went to in 2019 was MagFest, and I've been going to MagFest every year since then. I only missed MagFest one time. MagFest is one of the best conventions I've ever been to. There's not that many video game conventions in general. But what makes MagFest really great is that it runs 24 hours, it's a 4-day convention, and it's also a music festival at the same time. So MagFest is short for Music and Games Festival. And they have concerts going around the convention. It's located at the Gaylord in National Harbor, Maryland. And they have live performances going on around the whole convention, like all times a day. Like in the lobby, in the atrium area, and they have concert stages and all that, and even have orchestras. I never actually catch the orchestra whenever they perform, and this year I found out that they had performed at 10 a.m. when they uploaded the video on YouTube. It looked amazing, but there was no way I was going to catch that at 10 a.m., especially if I didn't have a room there. But I love MagFest. It's also, the best thing about it is the gaming rooms there. They have the largest gaming rooms out of any con I've been to. They have like 5 or 6 rooms related to gaming. They have the arcade, which is the best part to go to. They have the console room. They have all console games and tournaments. They have the indie game room. They have the LAN room. They have a VR room, and they have a video game museum. The video game museum is like the really old games from like the 70s and early 80s. Yeah, it's just really great. And also like the after parties late at night too. What's also good about it is that since it's run 24 hours like that, they're not gonna kick you out late at night like Katsucon does when people hang out like at the gazebo area. I really love MagFest. I think everybody should go. The only downside is it's gotten kind of pricey after COVID. It used to be, when I went, it was like $70 for the whole weekend, and now it's jumped up to $125, and it's even more expensive than that if you wait until like December or January. It's $155. That's the highest it's go to right before the con, but I wouldn't advise waiting that long, even if you have the $155, because the past couple of years they sold out, and they promised that they were going to. Well, they were talking about the increase because of COVID and the low attendance rate after their first time coming back. So they said it gave off the impression that it was going to go back to how it was before, but obviously they're not going to. They sold out. But I still highly recommend this convention. highly do. It's just some amazing experiences. I remember this year as I was leaving on Sunday, I hung around on Sunday. A guy got on a piano and a girl started singing like opera, and it was like amazing. Her voice was so good. I cannot emphasize this enough. MagFest isn't necessarily a con to go to. This is easily S tier. Like, if you're by yourself or with a group of friends, there's no way you're being bored at MagFest. So the next con I have on my list is KatsuCon. This is also in the same area as MagFest, is also in the Gaylord National Harbor. Oh, I forgot to mention the dates for these conventions. So Heroes Con, I think that's usually in June in Charlotte, North Carolina. MagFest is always in January. And KatsuCon is in February, usually near Valentine's Day weekend. So KatsuCon is the anime convention, and also in National Harbor, Gaylord. I believe, in my opinion, it's like the most popular one in the Maryland area, Maryland and DC area. I know Otakon has like a bigger attendance rate, but KatsuCon I feel like is more popular. On social media, I see way more presence of KatsuCon versus Otakon, even though Otakon's more people. But yeah, so KatsuCon is a mixed bag for me. I had some fun this year. For like the first real time, I think. It's not, but I was kind of soured because I only really had a good time because I met somebody at the convention who was really nice to me and things like that. But the person ghosted me afterwards, so I kind of look back on this year with I don't know, kind of painful. But outside of that, I went to it first in 2019, gone every year since. But KatsuCon, thing about KatsuCon, it's an anime-related convention. They have some Japanese culture stuff too, but I say it's primarily anime-focused. The thing is, they don't have much to do at KatsuCon, in my opinion. The panels are kind of whatever there. They don't have concerts like MagFest, not really. I think I did see something this year with like a glam rock band. I forgot the actual name you call that, but that was it. They don't really have like voice actor guesses there. I don't really think they have guesses at KatsuCon from what I remember. Like, I've been going for years, but I don't ever see it. MagFest doesn't really either, like barely, but that's not really the point of MagFest anyway. KatsuCon, they have the Maid Cafe, which is a draw, but I never been because the line is usually too long. You could make reservations now, but I forgot. I made a reservation last year, ended up forgetting. I never went. But KatsuCon it feels like the main point of it is just a party. They're really known for like the hotel parties afterwards that people be throwing that they're not supposed to. And KatsuCon, good thing, positive about KatsuCon, they do have a good dealers and artist alley. That's also a drawback from MagFest. If you come into like if you like shopping at cons, MagFest's vendor / artist alley is very small in comparison, but KatsuCon's is big. You could find a lot of things, a lot of variety there. So that's like the only two things really that KatsuCon is going for is shopping at the artist alley and partying there. And people like to party at the gazebo late at night and stuff like that. There's a lot of drinking going on, and there's the hotel parties. KatsuCon for some reason, I think it's just due to the lack of activities to do, especially at night. The only thing at night they really have is the rave, and I think some hentai panels, and that's it. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, there's also crazy shit happening at KatsuCon every year. Remember, people was breaking stuff. Fire alarm goes off. This year they had the pipe that broke and burst in the artist alley, which was insane, and it could have been prevented. The Gaylord could have prevented that because there was a drip at MagFest, which was 2.5 weeks earlier this year. And I had a video link. I commented in somebody else's video showing proof that there was a drip at MagFest first, and they basically did a half-ass job fixing it, and it happened. That was why that happened at Katsucon. Yeah, that happened at Katsucon. Katsucon does have good, I think, photo shoot meetups. Like, the cosplays are amazing at Katsucon too. That's another plus side. The cosplays. It seems like everybody brings their best cosplays to Katsucon. There's a lot of ball gown cosplays there. Like, from a documentary I watched, it looked like it started with, like in the late 2000s, I think, with, not Jessica Nagiri, Yaya Han, I think, and like a group of friends did like some ball gown cosplays, and that sort of set everything off. I think it was like early 2010s or something. But anyway, some of the OG cosplayers did that. Yeah, but I do in most years end up feeling bored a lot of the time at Katsucon. There's not much to do. Overall, in my opinion, just to hang out or go shopping and look at cosplays. And after you do that for a few hours, it gets kind of boring. And you know, conventions are like 3 days long. But I don't want to put it in the D tier because I don't think it's that bad. Actually, I should probably add an F tier. But Katsucon, I don't think it's quite worthy of D, but it kind of is, or a C. Oh, also Katsucon, some years are better than others, but the security be doing too much everywhere you go. Where's your badge? Where's your badge? Where's your badge? Just walking into the lobby and all that. I don't know. I know people's about security and safety and all that, and I know prevent lobby counters, but I don't have no issues with lobby counters at all. Not at all. You will not hear me detracting from that at all, because I know cons are expensive and all that, and people just want to be around other people that are like them. So I don't really give two shits about lobby con, and especially at a big convention like Katsucon. They're not really losing any money anyway. And Katsucon is also crowded as fuck too. They oversell tickets. Like, I don't think really the lobby counters are not contributing all that much to that, in my opinion, at all. They really oversell tickets, in my opinion. Jeez, that's a lot of negatives here. Like the overcrowding, not much to do. Always crazy shit happening every year. But the crazy shit is kind of part of the fun too, in my opinion. But I don't want to give it a B. I think I'll give it Katsucon a C. A C. Oh, I spent a lot of time on Katsucon. Let's see. The third convention I ever went to is BlurredCon. That's located in Arlington, Virginia. Right outside of Washington, D.C. They also call it the DC Con. As you see, the D and C emphasized, but it's technically located in Arlington, Virginia. But BlurredCon is one of the first black nerd conventions. I believe it started in 2016, but I started in 2019 and attended, and only missed 2021. BlurredCon is my favorite convention. Like, black conventions, it's just because of the blackness of it. Like, going to all these other conventions and going to a convention that's predominantly black, is black owned, and predominantly have black attendees, the vibe is just completely different. I just like it so much, and we need the space because being a nerd, a black nerd, or blurred, you know that there's racism in the community, especially online on the internet, which is where nerds in the first place socialize with each other, because in schools there were so few of us. We clicked up and we wanted to talk to more people, and the internet was naturally a place where we could do that. Or so that's really where we started. And you'll definitely get racism online. You get dire racism. Like, I remember back in the day, people talking about GTA San Andreas online and not liking the gang culture and all that, even though in all GTA games you're playing as a criminal and all that. None of these people are good people, but it's funny how you think they're cool, but once we get to San Andreas, it's an issue. And you know how people online talk about have saying that characters in black they're cosplaying, but they don't ever do that to white cosplayers, and the majority of these characters that they cosplay are Japanese anyway. But BlurredCon is like a celebration of blurs and being comfortable on spaces and other places where we're not celebrated. BlurredCon, I love it so much because of the environment, the vibes it gives off, and they do have a lot of stuff to do. They have good panels every year. They have the best after parties at any convention I've been to. I think only really MagFest, if DJ Senpai is throwing a party, that's really good. But I think only BlurredCon and DreamCon I think has really good after parties. Yeah, but BlurredCon is good after parties. They have the food truck thing out there, but I got kind of tired of it over the years, and some of those food trucks are definitely overpriced. Definitely, I will recommend going to an area outside of the convention to get food. That's for like conventions in general, though. They have like concerts and stuff outside too, but over the years, it looked like they minimized that just to add more food trucks. It looked like outside. I kind of miss it back when they had like the bigger stage outside in that parking lot for the concerts. BlurredCon also has, they have a gaming room too, which is cool. I think MadFest provides those. I know I'm forgetting some other stuff. Oh, until just recently they started adding cosplay meetups in the other hotels, because BlurredCon's been expanding over the years. It's always in the Hyatt Regency in Arlington, but due to how more people are showing up every year, they expanded to 2 more hotels. But don't think it's like makes it like a huge con all of a sudden. It's still like a relatively medium-sized con, because one of the other hotels is just used for picking up your badge, and they have like just a few panel rooms in there, and like the staircase where they take photos for the photo shoots. And then the other hotel that they added this year was that one was for this year. Yeah, that one's for registration this year. The other one I was talking about was for they used that for registration last year, but this year the Hilton was used for registration, one of the pre-parties, and for the trading card room, and that's it. So it doesn't make it a huge con. Oh, the burlesque show was over there too. But it doesn't make it a huge con. But I love BlurredCon. Just the vibes and the after parties are so good. And it also runs 24/7 too, like MagFest. Like, I always have a great time every year. I remember staying up to like until the sun came up one year, playing in the tabletop room with some people. It's great. BlurredCon is a easy S tier con for me, and it's not that, and the prices aren't that bad either. It's been like $85 or $80 for most of the time I've been going. It just went up, I think, to $90 this year, but yeah, you definitely get your money's worth for BlurredCon. Next con I ever went to after that, I think was it Awesome Con? Otakon. I went to my first Otakon in 2021. That first year was actually pretty bad. It was kind of boring. I probably just went on a bad year because 21 was the first year everything opened up after COVID. I remember not that being that big of attendance. The panels were boring. I couldn't find much to do around there. End up meeting somebody that I met in cosplay for like a while, for like 4 years now, ever since. And but that first year was bad, but I went back last year for the first time when they announced that they have the cast for Final Fantasy VII there, like the developers and the voice cast, English and Japanese. So I decided to go there, and I had the best convention experience in my entire life. Like, I love Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is what got me into video games and see video games as an art form and entertainment, and not just entertainment. Final Fantasy IX changed my life personally. Like, if I never played it, the trajectory of my life would be completely different. And so to be able to meet the cast of 7, even though 7 is not my favorite, 9 is, but still it's Final Fantasy period, and I love Final Fantasy. I had an amazing experience. I got to meet the developers, had them sign a copy of my Final Fantasy VII Remake case. I got to go to the I went to a lot of Final Fantasy related panels, and it was just an amazing experience walking around there. Otakon is also a huge con. Like at first I thought Katsucon was bigger, but after going this year and realizing it's just Katsucon is overcrowded for the size of the convention. Otakon is in a convention center in DC. It's located in DC, usually in July or August. But the convention center is way bigger. And it's crowded too, but it's not like overwhelming like Katsucon is. And this year I also had a really good time too. I was skeptical about going because I thought I only liked it because of the Final Fantasy stuff last year. But this year I still had a really good time. They had interesting panels. Their vendors on the Artist Alley are huge, so that's really cool. Well, actually, I think the Artist Alley isn't that big in actuality. I think it's big, but not huge. The vendor side, though, that is huge on that end. They have cool cosplay meetups. They have a decent sized gaming room. It's pretty big, but definitely nobody can compare to MagFest that I know of. I haven't been to PAX though. PAX might be even bigger. Who knows? But Otakon is a good con. I will give it B. I don't know. I kind of want to put it in A. Yeah, I think I'll put it in A. The next con I went to after that was Anime. I think Anime. Or did I go to Awesome Con? No, Anime NYC went 2022. I think I went to Awesome Con first. So after that, I've been to Awesome Con. Awesome Con is also located in Washington D.C. It's a comic book convention, and Awesome Con, in my opinion, is straight boring. The only thing really to do there is to go shopping or see the celebrities, and the celebrities lines are always super long. You will wait probably hours in line for some of the bigger ones. Only person I ever saw was Phil Lamar when I went in my first year. Everybody else, the lines were way too long, and I didn't have money to be spending like that, so I only chose to see Phil Lamar. But yeah, AwesomeCon really had that many good panels. The only one I remember going to I kind of liked was seeing Nanidia Core for last year. And even their cosplay meetups is kind of boring. I think this year they didn't even have a Marvel or DC meetup, which is really weird for a comic book convention. And really, comic book conventions aren't even comic book conventions anymore. They're mostly focused on TV and movies nowadays, which is a shame. Yeah, but there's not much to do. AwesomeCon is not really worth it. I've been 2.5 times now. Don't worry what the half means, but I've been to 2.5 times now, and I kind of want to put this shit in the F. But if I put this in the F, I need to put Heroes Con in the F tier too, I think. I don't know. I was really bored at I've been really bored at AwesomeCon and Heroes Con. I feel bad putting something in the F. I'll put them in D for right now. I don't know. I think I want to throw Heroes in F now. Okay, and after that, I've been to Anime NYC. I went to that. I only been to Anime NYC one time. So, my experience of it just only hinders off of this one time. But Anime NYC, you know, it's the biggest anime convention on the East Coast. I believe it's owned by the same people that do New York Comic Con now. Only reason I went that year is because, of course, again, Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy. They had a Final Fantasy concert with special guest of Yoko Shimomura there, who did the soundtrack for Final Fantasy 15. She also did the Kingdom Hearts series and Street Fighter 2 and the Super Mario RPG. And so I went for that concert mainly, and that concert was amazing. I loved it. I'll never forget that experience. And I also went there. I don't remember much. I remember going to a couple panels, I think. I know I went to the Third Impact panel, which I always watch those YouTubers. That was a good panel. And oh, I forgot about MagFest. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but Lotus Juice came to MagFest this year, and that was an amazing experience. I love Persona, and to be able to do and he came to the cosplay shoot too. That was amazing to see him perform Persona music. And they also had they had the whole Sonic theme this year at MagFest. I forgot to mention that shit. Oh, that was so cool. They had the Sonic theme. There's so many Sonic cosplayers and the meetups. They should have had the Sonic meetup on Saturday instead of Sunday, but the Sunday a lot of people still came. I did see they had a Sega meetup on Saturday. I don't know how the turnout was for that. But yeah, amazing themes at MagFest. And BlurCon has be having themes too. I forgot to mention that too. Both of these two cons be having themes, and they kind of lean into it. Especially BlurCon, the more learns into the themes than MagFest. But MagFest really did it this year. Next year they're having Mega Man, which I don't have no beef for Mega Man. I never played a Mega Man game, but I feel like the turnout for people like in cosplay for it is gonna be a lot smaller than for the Sonic, since Sonic is way more mainstream in the nerd community and also appeals to younger generations too. Which I feel like Mega Man is really just for people my age and older. Oh, back to Anime NYC though. Anime NYC has a huge vendor and artist alley there. It's cool. I remember them selling just like hentai shit like out in the open. And that year I went, there was some girl got banned for spitting in people's mouths and stuff. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but whatever. Especially if you do that, you gotta ban the man that was involved too. But they didn't ban the men at all. Especially since one of the men approached her and gave her the idea to suck their toes like in the middle of the convention floor. So that was a thing. Shit, I can't say too much about Anime NYC. I didn't even go for all 3 days. I went for Friday and I got in on Sunday. You know, Sunday is like the day people start leaving and stuff. I really should go back a second time to really evaluate it. But I had a fun time at NYC, and the after parties were cool too. They had a lot of after parties. So I'll put in B tier. Next convention I ever went to. What's the next convention I've been to? After that, so I'll be 2023. Went to Katsu, Blurred, Mag, Awesome. Oh, I went to DreamCon. So DreamCon is another black-owned convention. So BlurredCon and DreamCon are the two biggest black-owned conventions in the country. Oh, I forgot to put HBCU Con here. Damn, I forgot to add that. That's because I went. That's like a one-day convention. I went to that convention for 1 day. It was okay. I feel like. Well, I'm glad I left it off because it wasn't really fair for me to rank. Because I only went on 1 day, and I spent most of my time at that con in the Tekken tournament. That took up like my whole day, basically. So I can't really put it here because it wasn't really fair to assess. It was a small convention at Bowie University, I think. I think it was held at Bowie University that year. Yeah. I don't think it ever came back since. But yeah, as back to DreamCon. I went in 2023. It was in Austin, Texas back then. It's run by RDC, who are a YouTube group. I guess just in general, influencer streamers now. It's run by RDC. I liked it. The vibes are spectacular, just like BlurCons. Like the black conventions really don't compare to anything else in my opinion. But there are downsides to DreamCon. The year I went, it was disorganized. Yeah, you had to register online for certain panels to get into, but they were turning people away even if they were registered, or people who had VIP tickets were supposed to get in first and all that, and even they were getting turned away. Man, it's kind of a blur right now. I remember it was very overcrowded at certain panels. The lines were so damn long. Like, I kind of gave up going to certain panels at some point. Yeah. Oh, some good things about it. The panels I did go to were fun. I went to an Avatar: The Last Airbender trivia panel. I think I went to open ceremony, or I went to closing. I think I went to closing. I went to the Family Feud. That was fun, but I was disappointed at the same time, because I saw from the previous year in 2022 they had the Family Feud. They actually let like the regular audience members come, but this year it was just influencers versus influencers. I think it was like Berlizzi's group and then Amp versus Amp, and they didn't even really have like anime and black culture related like Family Feud questions like I saw from the previous year. It was just regular like Family Feud ass questions, which wasn't that interesting. They also had a dodgeball one I wanted to see, but I couldn't get into that. They had that Otaku Cabaret late at night. I think that was Friday night, and that shit was crazy. Like, the performances were great. Like, it was wild. But the line to get in was insane. I happened to come up from the right side that was like near the door, but like the entire second floor was flooded with people. So I kind of just had to push my way in. It was insane. There are some negatives though. Aside from the disorganization, it's just the vibe I got from a lot of people there was kind of weird. Like, there was some people there that felt like they weren't really nerds there. They were just there to network with the other content creators there. Like, some people just there just to meet Berlizzi and RDC and Casanet. And I didn't even know who Casanet was before I went to DreamCon. Like, on Thursday night, they had a pre-party Thursday night somewhere, and Tia Kareem was like a guest. And then I saw like this black guy come out, this dark-skinned black guy with like a bunch of chains on. I assumed he was a rapper because how everybody like started to gather around him, and also they also had an actual rapper there too as a musical guest. And I was surprised when I asked somebody, they said that's Casanet, he's a Twitch streamer. I was like, it was kind of crazy how people were like gathering around him to me. And also I saw like people, like regular like attendees there that had nothing to do with anime or gaming there. Like, I saw a beauty influencer I recognized from social media there. Somebody else I can't remember right now. Man, yeah, and some people I talked to really didn't give off good, like, genuine, like, nerd vibes. Like, I don't know, like, I have like a sixth sense when I'm around like nerdy people and stuff, but like when I was talking to them, it didn't go off at all. It's weird. And also with the after parties, they had fun after parties. Like, almost all of them I went to were fun. It's just I went to one of them, and the LAN party one I went to one night, it also gave off like, these are the vibes we'll talk about. Like, it's not really nerd focused, like anime and gaming focused, even though it says so on this website. Like, with the after party I went to, most of the people that went to it felt like they were dressed up like they were going to a club. Like, when I go to a lot of anime conventions, there's always people in regular clothes and people in cosplay, but it was like me and one other person, this other Pokemon cosplayer. We were the only two people in cosplay at that night. I never felt out of place at a convention after party than I did there. Yeah, it was weird. They had a lot of after parties. I went to a lot of them, but they were all fun. It's just that one after party I felt weird about. And yeah, you know, there's a lot of controversy with the black conventions too, which I really wish we could overcome. Yeah, they had a basketball game at DreamCon too, which always feel weird to me. You don't really sports and like nerd culture don't really mix all that much, and I never see that at most conventions. Like I see wrestling sometimes at conventions, and I feel like that's the only acceptable one in my opinion. Like wrestling and nerd culture go hand in hand. Like I know a lot of nerds that's still into wrestling. And you know the whole fighting aspect. I think blend is partially why too, because you know we play a lot of video games and watch anime and kung fu movies that all involve fighting. So I think that's another reason why wrestling still fits and why nerds still gravitate to it. But yeah, it's weird having a basketball match there, and you know with the it just seems like since the years I've been to DreamCon, it's gotten worse with the influencery of it. Like a lot of the panels at DreamCon, like the main event panels, don't really have anything to do with anime or gaming. It's mostly just about content creation and stuff like that, which I'm not really into at all. And it seems like a lot of people go just for that aspect, which I'm not really that interested in. But I still recommend like every black person to go to DreamCon at least once. And they had Megan this year. I'm so mad they had Megan Thee Stallion this year. I really wanted to go and see that, but they announced her like the week before the convention. I kind of thought they might have because it was at Houston, but because of controversy in the past, I was thinking Megan might not come. But oh, it's looked like they got worse this year. Like an actual fight broke out this year. A white girl was yelling out "Free Tory Lanez" at her booth. People going. It was a lot of people going around streaming and stuff that I talked to. Somebody who went this year. There's a lot of people just going around with cameras, streaming and all that. It just felt annoying. Yeah, but despite all that, I'll give DreamCon still an A tier. It's just it has too many negatives after the fact for me to put an S, but yeah, it's still a solid A. Next up I have PokeCon, Baltimore PokeCon. It's a smaller convention. No. Wait. I went to a con before that, actually. I went to T-Con. So I went to T-Con one time, I think that was 2 years ago. Was it last year? I don't know. I went to this con. It's a small convention, also in DC. It's in the same venue. It's in the same convention center as Otakon, but because it's in the same convention center, don't expect it to be anywhere near the size of Otakon. It's actually just in one room. It's in one of the panel rooms. Also the layout of Otakon is weird. That's one negative. I think it's confusing navigating that convention center. But anyway, T-Con, it's kind of weird putting this on this list because it's a t-shirt convention. And I think the year that I went, they just started doing like cosplay related stuff to it. So it's just in one big panel room. This is in one panel room. And they basically just have a bunch of t-shirt vendors there, and they had like a few TVs set up for video games, and it had like a stage for like the cosplay contest. And that was it. I think it ran for 2 days. It was a cheap con. I think it was like only $20 for me to go for that one day. But it was kind of get bored like after an hour or two max. There's not much stuff to do there. Yeah, I feel bad putting it in the D. I kind of want to put it in the C. I barely remember this con. I don't know. But it's only $20 though. I can't give it a D if it's only $20. I'll put it in a C. After that, I've been to Baltimore PokeCon. That was in June last year I went. It was like in this racetrack. Like this horse racing track over there. But this is the first Pokemon convention I ever went to. It was a Pokemon-based convention. It's a small It's another small convention too. But actually, I think I had a bit more fun here than at T-Con because it wasn't just one small room. It was like in like 3 rooms. One for the vendors where they were selling like Pokemon cards, Pokemon fan art, and trinkets and stuff like that. And they had one room for panels, I think. Did they actually have panels? I don't remember. But I remember they had like the cosplay contest in there. And they had like a little after party afterwards that was playing mostly Pokemon music. It was just little chill vibes and stuff. Yeah. Nothing particularly special. I'll give that also a C. Also went to RisuCon that same year, last year. I went to RisuCon. RisuCon is another con. It was in Maryland, in Bethesda, Maryland, in a small hotel / convention center. But the convention center is like really small in comparison to other hotel convention centers. It was just like it was like located like in 2 hallways. You basically see the whole convention very quickly walking through, like in 5 minutes. But to go around the whole thing, yeah, they basically had like an artist alley, some panel rooms, one video room to watch anime. Let's see, they had a food truck, I think, but the location is actually good for food. There's like a location, if like you walk up the street from it, there's a whole like little downtownish area where they have like restaurants and stuff. Remember, there's a bagel shop, there's a Roman Roosters, which is a chicken place, like other sit-down restaurants. So it has like good options for there, and I think the location is kind of cool. You could take some cool photos like outside and inside the convention. But yeah, just these small conventions don't really offer much after a couple hours. Like after 2 hours, I'm bored. So yeah, I can't really give any of these small conventions higher than like a C. Oh, I also went to Station Unity one year, like on accident. This is a convention that's owned by Katsucon, the same people that run Katsucon. They just started Station Unity. I think it was canceled this year. They didn't do it at all this year, but they had it like the past 2 or 3 years. It's a fantasy focused convention. I walked in on accident. Like I just walked into the gala. I decided to walk in the gala that day because I missed being in there for MagFest and Katsu. And I kind of walked in and saw people in cosplay, and I found out Station Unity was this weekend. And they said I didn't have to pay a ticket to get in, so I could just walk into the artist alley. I think there's something else I actually had to pay for. I think the panels. I think I needed the badge for the panels, but just to walk around the vendor room and artist alley was free, and to walk about the gazebo was free. Oh, also, yeah, the gazebo era. This is a good time to go to the gazebo era take photos, because Katsucon is not going to happen. You're going to be waiting a while. And MagFest, well, you can in MagFest. It's way better, but Katsucon, that's a no. Station Unity, I kind of got bored after a little while. It's even though it's a small con too, and I ain't pay anything. I don't know. Should I put it to C even though I didn't pay anything to go? It's not like I lobby con. It's like they just allowed me. But all I got to do was just walk around the artist alley, the small artist alley, and just hung out in the gazebo area, really. It was just cool to do for like, how long? I was probably like there for like 45 minutes or something like that. I don't know. I feel like if I paid money for it, I would definitely be disappointed. So yeah, that's my opinion. Because I actually did look up like the stuff they had to do there, because they had a pamphlet there that all the panels and activities, which wasn't a lot. It's not that big either. It's like that same hallway where if you come in the second entrance, not like the main entrance of the hotel, but like that side entrance, it's basically that hallway and the gazebo area. That's it at that convention. And I paid money for that. I don't think I had a good time, so yeah, I think D is appropriate. So, go to the last 3 newest conventions I've ever been to. Dragon Con. Dragon Con is located in Atlanta, Georgia. It's Atlanta's biggest convention. It's the third biggest convention in the whole country, and I think the whole world, actually. Dragon Con is like a multi fandom culture. Like, it doesn't particularly for comic books, anime, video games, or tabletop. It's like encompasses everything. But if you're going for like anime content, you'd be disappointed. They barely have stuff for anime. Dragon Con is like the whitest convention I've ever been to. That shit was white as fuck. That's the white. I've never seen so many white people in my life. It was 80,000 people in attendance last year that I went, and I think probably out of that 80,000, it was probably like 5,000 or 6,000 of those people were black. Like, it was hella white people. The convention is huge. It's located in 5 hotels and like and 2 other extra buildings, so it's like in 7 buildings in total. Yeah, so there's one building that's just used for picking up badges. There's one hotel that's just for picking up badges. And it's very organized though. That convention is very organized. Like, the line to get in to pick up your badge wrapped around 2 buildings, but I was only in line for like 30 minutes to pick up my badge. Like, they were on it. They were moving them lines quick. Yeah, and there's like no excuse. People, as long as that line was like, you would have your stuff, you would try to get your stuff ready to have your badge scanned. And they always have some pretty badges. So like, I saw this year's badge, it was really cool. And I remember last year for last year's badge was cool, and I remember seeing like the picture of it from the previous year was pretty cool too. The only thing I don't like is that they put where you came from on the badge, which I don't think everybody needs to know that shit. Especially if you're online, you might not want people to know where you're from. That's the only negative thing. But yeah, it's a huge con. There's so many. It's also a con where people bring out like amazing cosplays. There's a heavy emphasis on like Star Wars there, and like fantasy stuff, like Lord of the Rings is popular there, House of the Dragon, and there's another fantasy show. What am I forgetting about? Oh, Game of Thrones. That's what I was thinking about. Game of Thrones is very popular there and stuff, but I'm mainly into video games, and I'm like into comics too, but I'm not like super knowledgeable on them. I know I read more comics than I think majority of people out there, even nerds nowadays. Like, I don't think that many nerds read comics. I've read way more people that read manga than comics. And I think the people that are really into comics are like the older people. People like 40 plus. Even, what about people my age? It's hard. I don't even think I talk to that many to really know. I don't know, but it's like but anyway, for the content for Dragon Con, they have a ton of stuff to do. There's so many panels there, so many panels there, and they have a good list of celebrity guests too. Their celebrity guests also cater to just movies and TV. Really, I don't even think they really have anime voice actors there. But they have a good selection for their celebrity guests too. And I love their oh, they have wrestling there. They have a wrestling match there. That's what I was talking about. Some conventions have wrestling matches. Dragon Con has a really good one. I had a lot of fun of it. That was my favorite panel that I went to, was seeing the live wrestling match. That was really cool. Rikishi hosted it this year. I didn't stay for the entire thing because I think it was like 3 hours long, which is crazy. But yeah, they actually have a food court area down like in the underground area where you can buy food and stuff. They have okay choices, and there's also the secret food court that they have there, which has less people. If you want to get away from the crowd for a little bit, you can go and chill out there. The secret food courts options are ass actually. The year I went, I guess I just went on a bad year maybe, but everything in there wasn't even open. I saw Dunkin' Donuts. There was like this sandwich place, and that was the best place to go to. They had sandwich and soup, a little deli. There was like a place that just had desserts. There was like a little convenience store thing, and there was like 2 other restaurants that was never open. I think those were Dunkin' Donuts. I can't remember if that was actually open or not. I think that was one of the closed ones. And some burger place that wasn't open. But yeah, like the whole entire weekend, those weren't ever open. I don't know if they had closed like way before prior to the convention, so that's why, or they just happened to close that weekend. But yeah, they have amazing cosplay meetups. Like they have this huge staircase area where people take cosplay photos of, which is cool. The Hilton area hotel, that's where they have like themings every year. This year there was a Beetlejuice one. The previous year that I went, oh, this year I forgot. I didn't go this year. I went last year. Last year was the Beetlejuice. The year before that they had a Mario theme one. That's really cool. They had a lot of stuff to do. They have a huge vendors hall and artist alley. But actually, the artist alley is not that big. The vendors hall is really big. The artist alley, mostly comic book artists they have up there. They don't have that many independent artists like you will see at most conventions, which makes it kind of ass in my opinion. Like I'm into comic books obviously, but I just wasn't interested in any that they had there. They also, the other room, it's a totally separate building away from the hotels, but it's, I mean not away from the hotels, but separate from the hotels. And the other building they have is for the gaming. And I was surprised just how small the video game part of the gaming portion was. Like this con is really not for people that's like really into video games and anime, because the gaming was really small in my opinion. They had a section for trading cards. The bigger part though was if you go upstairs, they had tabletop gaming. That part was huge. So they really emphasized for tabletop gaming, which I think explains why the Dragon Con also skews to older crowds too. I think majority of the people there are 40 plus or 40 plus at Dragon Con. And them emphasizing tabletop game, which I think the tabletop games are really more skewed towards the older people in my opinion. Whenever I go to conventions and I see I go to the tabletop room, it's mostly the older nerds in those areas. The younger group usually just sit there to hang out or play Uno and shit like that. And like Jenga. But yeah, Dragon Con was still a great time despite how crowded it was. It's still, that con is way too overcrowded though. Like there was parts of the convention, especially on Saturday, there's like bridges that connect to the other hotels that you cross through, like through the 3 biggest hotels, and it got congested. Like I was shoulder to shoulder people trying to get through. And Dragon Con also has this weird culture with it. They have this thing called the Cult of the John. I don't know what that's about. There's like a FedEx guy that they mock up and put stuff on. I never got that. And there's a Cult of the Carpet too. I mean, something with the Marriott carpet. They had changed over the years or something, that people dress as the carpet for their cosplays and stuff. I never really got that. After parties, they have after parties too, but in my opinion they're not that good. And partially to me because I'm very culturally black, and the after parties there are very skewed to white people. Like I got excited, I went to the Bunny Hutch because I saw a YouTuber recommend the Bunny Hutch, but the music there was not good in my opinion. I got excited when I saw a black DJ that I knew that I saw at BlurredCon that same year had went and played music at, but he didn't play any of the hits that he played at BlurredCon. There was no hip hop or Afro beats and all that stuff. He played like a couple, but that was it there, just to play. And I met him later at another convention. I asked him about that. He said, "Oh well, with that convention, you got to kind of skew to the crowd, and that crowd was mostly white," which I know that he meant. So he played that kind of music, which. So you can find other black people at Dragon Con. It's just certain areas, like in the main hotel. I forgot the name of that hotel. I think it's the Marriott. Like there's a second like little level area where there's a DJ playing, and it's playing hip hop music. Basically, the areas where they're playing hip hop music, where you'll find us there. There in the Hilton area, in that back courtyard area where they also have a DJ playing. There's like the main 2 areas where you find a lot of black people. And I try to go to the diversity track. It was alright. It's a small portion of the con. They also have a parade there every year, which was cool. I was a little bored at the parade this year. It felt disappointing, but it's still really cool because I don't think any other convention has like a cosplay parade. What else about Dragon Con? I know I'm forgetting something. This year, I did meet some people there. Like, I went by myself and hung out with a group of strangers, but they kind of flaked on me after the first day. So that was a negative experience, but I didn't let that sour the whole weekend for me because I still had a lot of fun going to all those panels and stuff. Oh yeah, the cosplay meetups. I had a really fun time at the horror meetup. It was hot as hell because it's in August every year. And Labor Day weekend. It's a oh, I forgot to mention it's a 5-day weekend. 5 days. You're definitely getting your money's worth. I played like 100 plus, 120 I think, best for 5 days. And if you buy it immediately, like after the con is over, it's only $100. So $100 for 5 days is a steal. Yeah, it's a 5-day con. The after parties are kind of ass. It might just be me because I'm black and I'm very culturally black, but I listen to other music genres besides just hip hop. But when I go to a con, I want to party to that mainly, and be with other groups of black people. So it would just kind of ask for the after party thing, in my opinion. I did have a good time. I met somebody there and brought them to the convention, which was a cool experience. I know I'm forgetting something. Shit, it's gonna come back to me later, but I still think Dragon Con is a very good con. It's like, if you plan to go there, you will have a good time. I can't put in A though. S tier. I'll put it in A. Nope. I'll put it in A. Yeah, but I also went and shared a room with complete stranger again. Will never do that again. Never. I was the only black guy in that group too, and I remember I went to meet up with them at lunch on that Wednesday before the con. And I didn't even think about how I was dressed because I'm usually around black people all the time. But I was like in a do-rag and a chain, and I had a tank top on, and like one of my Japanese robes. But afterwards, I looked down at myself, and I just felt kind of weird. Like, damn, that I look like a thug to them. It was a really awkward experience, man. But yeah, still a fun time. A tier. Next year, I'm gonna try to go to MomoCon because I hear that's fun, and it seems like that's the Atlanta convention that all the black people go to. And so this year, I went to 2 new cons that I haven't been to before. I went to HanaCon, which was in June, same weekend as Pride. It was a small convention too. I think it's a bit pricey just for a 1-day convention. It was just for 1 day. On a Saturday. I think, how much was it? I think it was $50 or something like that. But I still think it was too much. It was held in the Veterans Plaza that's in downtown Silver Spring, like right across from that movie theater over there. They usually have like other like food farmers market and shit like that on the weekends there. But this weekend it was HanaCon. It's a decent place for if you want to get food and stuff near it. Actually, more people need to talk about like the food options near cons. I might rate that in another video, maybe. But HanaCon, it was cool. It's a smaller convention, but it actually had a pretty big turnout for a small convention. So they just had like panel rooms, a small artist alley and vendor room, or it might have just been. I'm not sure it's all artists because it was really small. They had a little bit of video games. I went to a panel where they was teaching people how to draw. It was like a drawing exercise thing. That was cute. I walked into like a doll one. They had a cosplay beat up on the 2nd floor. That was cool. Not much to talk about though. But since it had like a nicer turnout, it was kind of cool. But yeah, just like with other small conventions, you get bored in like 2 hours. So also in C. So the last convention I went to this year, this is my last con of the year, was Anime USA. I was supposed to go to New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con was supposed to be on this list, but unfortunately I couldn't make it this year. I had to go back home, fly back home for a funeral, and that was my money that I was supposed to spend to go to New York Comic Con. So instead, decided just to pull up to Anime USA for like a day. So I went to there on Saturday. It's held in the same hotel that BlurredCon is, but man, the turnout for it was really small, in my opinion. I knew it was going to be smaller than BlurredCons, but I didn't expect it to be that small. I should have known because nobody really ever talks about this convention from social media. But yeah, I was walking to it from on my walk to it. Like, I saw nobody in cosplay, and I was wondering, oh, did this convention just like get canceled? Because I didn't buy my ticket ahead of time. I was planning to buy it there. That's what I typically do for most of the smaller conventions. The only one I didn't buy on site was for HanaCon, because I saw that their price increased if you bought at the door. So that's why I waited for Anime USA, because it was just a spur of the moment thing. So I walked in, didn't see anybody until I got right up into the convention, and yeah, it felt like a Sunday with how few people were there. They had the Artist Alley, which was a decent size, like the same kind as BlurredCon, with just that same venue, because BlurredCon over the years have added way more vendors. Like, I think it's too many now at this point at BlurredCon. But anyway, the Artist Alley was decent. It's like completely different artists and vendors at Anime USA versus BlurredCon, which I was kind of expecting maybe it will have some of the same ones, but no, I don't think I saw a single like same vendor or artist at Anime USA. They have a gaming room. It was it's a decent size for the kind of convention it is. I didn't check out the cosplay contest or anything, or any of the meetups. I can't remember if I even saw where people posted meetup for those at Anime USA, or if they even had them at all. I went to a couple panels. One's a K-pop dance panel that a friend of mine was doing, and I went to like the Anime Family Feud one, which was better than the one they had at DreamCon that I went, the year that I went, because they actually had anime questions. Yeah, there wasn't much to do. I just walked around the Artists Alley Merchant Hall, got some food, just sat or hung around, talked to some people, went to those two cosplays, played video games for a little bit, and then I left. It was I did meet a group of people I played Uno and Jenga with. That was kind of fun. But then after all that, yeah, I just left. By myself, really. It's kind of a boring convention. I would not go back to Anime USA, especially since I paid. Actually, yeah, it was kind of expensive just for that one day that I was there too. It's a 3-day convention though, which I'm surprised about. It feel like it should only be 2 days with how low the turnout was. Like, that was a Saturday, and it was still like barely any people there. I paid $60 for that shit. That's a D tier. I was bored, really. I think I stayed a little longer than 2 hours. I think I might have been there for 3 hours, but still, I will not go again. And that's my anime tier list, people. So, yeah, if you've been to any of these conventions, I'd like to hear it in the comments below. What you think about these conventions, and how would you personally rank them? And so, yeah, that's my list. And maybe y'all see me again on this channel. Who knows? There's still like some cosplay interviews I did at Katsucon like a year or two ago that I never uploaded. I'll probably do that sometime. But yeah, that's my list. Super and MacFest, BlurredCon in S tier, Otakon, DreamCon, DragonCon in A tier, Anime NYC in B, Katsucon, T-Con, Baltimore, Risucon, HanaCon in C tier. Actually, it feels kind of weird having Katsucon among them, but that's how I personally feel. I think I'll leave it at that. D tier is AwesomeCon, Station Unity, and Anime USA. F tier is in Heroes Con. But yeah, that's my list. I want to go to more North Carolina conventions too. I heard GalaxyCon is kind of ass too, and this Queen City anime, I heard that's kind of boring too, and there's another one, I forget, that's Dear Charlotte 2. Just try it, Anime Con, and something else I'm forgetting, but yeah, but I only been to Heroes Convention, North Carolina. But that's my list. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. See y'all whenever I see y'all. Bye.